Welcome to Productiz, our video podcast about products on OVHcloud. Today we talk about AI solution, a new one, AI Deploy, and we are with Bastien Verdebout, our lead product manager for data. Welcome, Bastien.
Hello, Fanny.
Can you talk about you? Who are you? What you do in OVH?
Sure, I can. So today I'm lead product manager for data, which means that I discuss product with customers and with the team to create the best product in the world for data, databases, big data, analytics, and machine learning. And I joined OVHcloud almost 8 years ago. So when I joined OVH, we were a bit less than 500, and today we are more than 3,000. So quite an adventure, let's say. Yes, today we're here to discuss about AI.
Yeah, you have night life like a cat in OVHcloud.
Exactly.
You can reborn every year. Today we talk about AI Deploy, but before, can you remind us what are the different products about AI in OVHcloud?
Sure. As you know, data is key for our generation, and machine learning is going to change the world. And as a cloud provider, what we want to do is to provide all the tools you need as a startup or as any company, in fact, to build your dreams, to build your project with AI easily. And when you do machine learning pipelines, it's multiple steps. Mm-hmm. You train your data, you clean your data, you explore with some codes, after you retrain your models, and after you want to use it for real to deploy it. And each step is one tool, one function. So we released first AI notebooks, allowing you to explore your data with Jupyter Notebooks as a service. Mm-hmm. After we released AI training, allowing you to train your data, to train your model, easily with CPU and GPU. And one brick was missing to deploy what you want, such as model or applications.
Can you explain a little bit AI Deploy, what we can do, how we can use it?
Sure. You are a startup, you are a company, you have an idea, and once you want to use it for real, usually it's a model, it's something, it's a code. You have to deploy it in production. You can do it yourself, but it's really time consuming because you have to take care about security, performance, multiple things, scalability, and so on. And what we want to do with AI Deploy is to take on the OVHcloud side the infrastructure. We take care of the infrastructure, and you take care of your code. So you give us your code, and we will deploy it.
Okay.
It's easiness.
Concretely, how I can use it, what I can do when I am a startup, what is the process?
Usually, if you are a startup, what you are building is sometimes and almost every time a SaaS tool, something you use online with internet, connected, and so on. Imagine I'm a startup building chatbots. Chatbots, you give some inputs, such as what is a wizard today, mm-hmm. and you get some results. It has to be deployed in the cloud to get results easily. And for that, as a startup, usually you take your code and you will go to OVHcloud. You will containerize your code with Docker images. It's something really generic and that we can use everywhere. You give us your code. You put some settings, for example, amount of CPU or GPU you want to deploy, scalability, minimum and maximum, some security parameters, and you say, of course, where you would want to deploy it. And once you push it in deployment, we give you something deployed, accessible through internet with APIs endpoints that you configured before.
And it's easy to use? I can migrate what I want when I want?
Well, usually, yes. It depends about the solution you started to deploy before. What we see today when we talk with startups, they decided first to do it themselves. They bought some Kubernetes clusters or virtual machines. They installed something like Kubeflow, MLflow, tools like that made for that. But they pushed everything on that. And those tools, best practice, not me, it's same on AWS SageMaker, same for example, for Google Vertex. The best practice is to do it with Docker images. Mm-hmm. And we use the same technology, the same best practice at OVHcloud, so you can migrate easily. And the thing is, since we take care of the architecture, imagine you are migrating from something homemade, such as example, a Kubernetes cluster or virtual machines. It will be easy for you to migrate since you will gain time, since you don't have Linux update to redo, mm-hmm. security measures to do, monitoring to set up, scalability to set up with flexibility. It's time consuming, and usually this is not your business. So yes, it will take a bit time to migrate, but after you will get more free time for you because you will focus on your core development and not on infrastructure.
Yeah, it's really interesting in long term.
Yes, clearly.
And can I deploy really everything?
Almost. Almost.
Tricky question.
It has to be inside a Docker image, so you can run various things, WordPress if you want to. But usually, imagine that you have TensorFlow, PyTorch, scikit-learn, or Hugging Face models. You can put them inside the Docker image. You can add some API with Flask or Fast API. You can add some front-end with static front-end or dynamic front-end with HTML or Gradio, Streamlit or whatever. So you can push your apps inside that, but sometimes your apps is more complex, more advanced use cases, and you don't need only one Docker images, but multiple ones connected all together. And if you want to do that, we have some workarounds, but we would love to, let's say, to facilitate the deployment of multiple Docker images connected all together. And for that, it's a bit tricky to use our solution today. We have some workarounds, but we are working on it on the roadmap.
What is the cost, the price? It's an important question for startup.
Always.
Even it's included in the credits, actually. What is the cost?
Clearly. The set of tools that we are building, AI tools, notebooks, training, or now AI deploy, a lot of brainstorm for the words and the naming, they share all the same resources, CPU or GPU resources, and you pay per hour, per minute, sorry, but the price is per hour. So for example, for a GPU today, it's NVIDIA V100S. It's a bit less than €2 per hour. So it's 1.93, if I'm correct. For 1 hour, it's one of the cheapest price in the market. It's a really good balance between price and performance. And for CPU, it's 3 cents per hour. So depending on what you will pay, you don't pay per call, you pay per hour of deployments. So it's a flat, let's say, a flat pricing. And so you pay for that. And if you have some storage, you will pay also for object storage, for example, but it's not the resources, it's decorrelated. You pay for the storage on one side and for the compute. But you don't pay, for example, for the monitoring, it's included. You don't pay for the traffic network in and out, it's included also.
Okay. And what is the roadmap? Actually, we start the beta,
yes.
If I remember. But what is the next step and when it's happened?
So today we are in beta. Beta is free. CPU and GPUs are free. So if you want to deploy even with GPUs, today you can, and it's free. And as long as the beta will be open, okay? It will take usually 3 or 6 months where we'll gather feedbacks from customers, we will implement new features. And after the beta, the first goal in the roadmap is to go to GA, General Availability, official SLA, Service Level Agreement, official support, official everything, in fact, for production. And the first step is to go to GA, to bring more features based on the customer feedback. And also, we are sure about some features today. For example, we want to provide more GPU models. Today, we have, let's say, high ones, big ones, and we would love to have multiple GPU models best for inferences, for example, best for training. So the first thing is also to add more GPU, more location geographically, because we are in Europe and Canada, but we would love to be somewhere else. This is the first step, add more features and put AI deploy in GA. The second part is because today those tools are made for people with knowledge. They are able to build and train models. It's not for everyone. But AI can be used much more for developers, for example. You have a website that you want to translate, you have some recommendation of products that you want to see, chatbots. We would love to put some models on the shelf with self-service. You are a developer, you click, I want this model, you click on deploy, and bam, you have the model deployed. It's kind of marketplace or hub of models, and this is the next step in the roadmap is to create a space where an ecosystem from OVH partners and OVH startups can go, develop and deploy their models and propose them to our customers. So this is the next step, and I'm pretty sure that you will have just after that startup in this program, correct?
Exactly. Thank you very much, Bastien, for all this insight and description. And now we can go and discover Gladia, one of our startups, and we can have their products really soon.
Thank you.
And now we are with Gladia and his CEO, Jean-Louis Queguiner. Hello, Jean-Louis.
Hello, Fanny. How are you?
Fine, and you? We are here today to talk about your new startup and you making AI, a special startup about AI. What is Gladia?
Gladia is the first all-in-one AI container that make it easy to deploy and manage multiple models, especially oriented for developers to make things easy. So you don't have to look for the right models. We already did it for you. We curate, we select the models, we test everything. It's battle tested and it's low latency and everything is open source so that you can perform image recognition, audio recognition, transcription, translation, and many other tasks that include natural language processing, image processing, and audio processing.
Okay, what is one of the best features that can I find and use and when it's online? Can I use it already?
It's already online. We have two different models. The first one is self-hosted, based on the open source, meaning that you can buy a server, for instance, at OVHcloud, a GPU server, and you can just, with one command line, deploy more than 40 APIs, AI APIs, which is a lot. Among those 40 APIs, there are more than 250 models that are AI models that are supporting those tasks. That's the first way to handle it. Which means that you can install it in your own company, in your enterprise, etc. And we have the other models, which is SaaS, which is a sovereign approach, a sovereign hosted solution based also on OVH infrastructure. We can also deploy it on many clouds, doing multi-clouds, to be agnostic and making sure that you have reversibility. And one of the main features, the feature that we like the most, is being low latency, which is very difficult to achieve, to be honest, and is probably one of the most frustrating things when you get into the AI world, is that, yes, there are ways to build your own APIs, but it's taking 4 or 5 seconds to answer, which is very frustrating when you're a developer. You don't want your AI autocomplete to take 5 seconds to complete your words or to do the translation or others. On our case, we are able to achieve like sub-second latency, sometimes less than 200 or less than 80 milliseconds, for instance, for most of the tasks. So being open source and achieving this type of performance is quite unusual.
Okay. You will be in AI deploy. Actually, we have the beta starts, and in few weeks we can have the services of few startups, and you are in the first one. Why you use this solution and you are in AI deploys?
That's a very good question. The first thing is, like, when you are a SaaS provider like us, one of the things that costs you the most money, especially in AI, is the hardware. It's very difficult to be very confident on the workload you're going to have in the future, especially when you're starting your company. That's why we on the startup program. Committing into infrastructure can be very expensive. Usually, to have good price, you need to have a monthly subscriptions or monthly commitment, which is kind of difficult to align when you don't know exactly what would be the volume that you're going to have in the future. AI deploy is just perfect for that. First, is based on Docker, which is the technology that we are using, and it's the standard technology nowadays to deploy any workloads in the cloud or even in on-premise. That's the first reason. The second one is, like, the GPU are quite expensive, and making sure that you pay per use is a very interesting topic, especially, as I said, when you're a startup and you're trying to make sure that you don't exceed the budget.
Yeah.
So that's the second thing. The third one is more about the values. On our hand, we are a young startup. Like everyone, we try to make the things in the nice way. And the nice way is to make sure that you start thinking about impacting as low as you can the let's say the ecology, and GPUs are very, like, energy consuming. So we selected OVHcloud for the cooling system that is based on water cooling, which is of course more efficient and more green friendly than most of the other solutions that you may have. That's the third thing. And last but not least is the price. is cheaper. So of course, it's super interesting. Finally, there is one component that is very specific to our solution. As we are trying to achieve low latency and we are multi-tenant, meaning that we have multiple customers running on the same kind of technology behind the scene. It means that we have many models that are serving the same customers. And for that, you want to avoid as much as you can to download the different models from the internet all the time. And AI deploy application deployment for AI built by OVHcloud has something that is called volumes, which is great. On our hand, we are able to share one volume of our read-only models for many customers, for them to make sure that they won't wait for the models to be downloaded and they get the most power of the, let's say, the warm-up is already done thanks to this technology, which is not accessible on any other cloud provider so far.
Can you give us a few use cases? If I am a startup and I want to work with your solution, where I can find you? It's really easy to start. What I can do?
Sure, there are two ways that you can start. The first one is open source. I won't say that is the easiest one because you need to provision a GPU and to kind of SSH and do some kind of tricky, hacky stuff. The easiest way, of course, is going on our website, which is gladia.io, and subscribe for the trial. It's free of charge as we are in the beta phase, and you can explore very quickly the APIs and build your own use cases, such as like telephony and call center analytics, to do the profiling of the phone calls, to detect intents in the phone calls, to make sure that you have a better routing for your call centers, etc. We have also solutions for content moderation, making sure that you have safe for work content as well as non-hateful, let's say, content on your website, like blog posts or social media that could be hateful or sometimes impacting your own employees. And that's few of the use cases that we have. We have some companies that are also asking to have better product recommendation through phone call analysis and speech to text transcription. So there are many things that you can do with this API, but for now we are seeing a lot of tractions on the speech to text as well as everything around the natural language processing.
Okay, a lot of things to start to try, and you have AI deploy beta, Gladia beta. It's all free, and after a part of that will be included in the credit of the startup program if you are a startup and you want to try us. Thank you, Jean-Louis Queguiner. And we hope you enjoy this Productiz podcast. We see you soon. Just a reminder also, you can use our Discord. You have the address just here, up here. It's if you want to exchange with our developers and our tech teams, it's the best place to exchange with them directly. And it's free also. You can ask a lot of questions and exchange with your peer. Thank you very much and see you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.